Grab your sword and shield, Barjo, because adventure awaits in the Elder Scrolls Online.
The plane meld is nigh, the plane meld is nigh, our doom is drawing near.
Elder Scrolls, where kleptomania is rampant and nobody sleeps under the covers. Taking an RPG series as popular as Elder Scrolls and mashing it into an MMO is no easy task.
Yeah, it's a huge step for the franchise, but the big question is, will there be enough fun to warrant the game's monthly subscription fee?
Indeed. You begin the game as a dead prisoner. Soon you meet Dumbledore, who, after a bit of old man rambling,
and the past and the future,
eventually tells you of 5 adventurers whose mistrust of a powerful necromancer known as Manny Marco had devastating consequences for Tamriel.
you will pay for your sacrilege.
That's bad. It's up to you to cleanse the land and reveal the corruption hiding beneath the veil.
That is, if you're not too distracted by collecting butterflies.
Oh, I just love butterflies.
And generally faffing about.
Like this. Stop him, shut up, pass. No. We're adventurous.
This is the way I dance in real life. Look at my face. As you journey through this land, you'll encounter lots of little stories that turn into larger ones. Barjo, every time I thought I'd cleared an area, there was a new quest waiting for me just around the corner, and it's top-notch questing too.
Take me to a door. What's going to be inside?
I like the way characters often hint at a larger, more sinister plot behind their problems. And that drove me to want to know more about their story.
I followed his orders.
I just felt really invested in what was going on.
Yeah, me too. ESO has a staggering amount of content and dialogue, with a bit of choice consequence thrown in as well.
The 8 may grant you mercy. I cannot.
No.
And the narratives are delivered in such a sophisticated and ambitious way too. Scrolls Online uses a phasing system, which is becoming more and more common with this genre. This means as you clear quests, NPCs and the world around you change to reflect your actions. There is this great sense of accomplishment when you have cleared an area and suddenly none of the NPCs are hostile anymore.
Yeah, finishing a quest is always satisfying. The system isn't perfect though. It can be hard to sync up events when one of your group has already done the quest already. And we also found a handful of broken quests or spawning bugs, and sometimes NPCs won't even help you in a fight. So annoying, but they do have a good bug reporting feature.
Yeah, and these kinds of bugs are pretty common for launch week of an MMO, and most of them might even be fixed by now. What I like most about the questing is you really feel like your actions are having an effect on the greater story around you. And it's just nice seeing so many other adventurers around too. There's a good balance of player population, and quite often a stranger will bumble into a fight you're losing and save the day just in time. And there's just so many nice little touches and details, like when someone is rifling through their bag or staring at a map.
I love that. It's such a small feature, but it's just wonderful.
Yeah, I also love how nothing in this world feels fixed or static, which is a common problem for MMOs.
Greetings.
NPCs are always doing stuff around you, as if they have their own lives and aren't simply waiting for you to rock up.
Over here.
You especially notice this when you enter a new area and kind of stumble upon events that are already in action. And finally, Barjo, an MMO that won't go easy on you. There is some serious challenge in this game.
Oh dear. Nope.
And about time, because MMOs have been getting so easy.
Yeah, and it encourages that social element because you ask others for help and team up with people around you.
And Hex, honestly, the beta we played a few weeks ago was a little underwhelming, but now that we've got our own characters and we've got ownership over them, I'm in.
Yeah, me too. Although it is a slow burn, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm only level 16 and that's taken me about 40 hours. But there are just so many skill points I need to get and collect and upgrade. So many skills I need them all.
Spread across all the like different things and the race and the class and the weapon bonus, put your points and all the things.
Attributes. I think the reason why we're finding this so compelling is they've just nailed that carrot on a stick thing that WoW did so well. You can just see all those abilities that you don't have yet just out of reach.
I feel like my character is at the beginning of a long journey with so much self-improvement to be achieved.
And it's actually quite nice that this MMO feels like there's a slog, you know, it's going to be a slog to get through, but the good sort of slog.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've had something serious to chip away at with so many zones and areas yet to be discovered.
There are 4 classes, and they naturally lean towards certain roles and weapon types. But by no means is your class as fixed as most RPGs. Healers can wear heavy armor, tanks can use bows, whatever works for you. Everything has a magicka and stamina balance to it, and it's fun playing with that dynamic. Plus, at level 15, you get weapon switching, and that can drastically change the way you play this game. I like to start with a rain of arrows and then charge in for some whackety-whack. This game lets you play it the way you want to and rewards you for it.
It does take a while for combat to become interesting, but there is this moment where things suddenly just click and you go, okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially if you master those interrupts. It took a while for the combat to grow on me too, but I think that's because they've tried to make it feel like Elder Scrolls, but still fitting into that MMO mold. And I think it mostly works. I did find the two-handed melee to be a bit clunky, but I actually think this combat is more fun than in the other Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah, and I love that they've gone with reticule targeting. It just makes more sense. I hate tab targeting. It's also great that there's lots of AoEs to avoid and that fights can really get out of hand. But you know, any bump in lag can just ruin the fun, can't it?
Yeah, and I think there's a touch of launch week lag. Everything's not popping as much as it should.
Despite the speed bumps, their server technology is pretty impressive. Scrolls uses a mega server, which means you don't have to pick from a list of servers or shards to join.
Go!
You automatically sync up with your friends when questing, no matter where they've logged in. It's very ambitious, but it works pretty well.
And of course, it wouldn't be a Scrolls game without crafting. I could craft all day, Hex, and I did. It's evolved nicely from previous games too. There's more chance and risk in what you make. And lots to research and perk up. I do think the iron ores look like little poos everywhere though.
They do look like little poos, especially if that gathering perk that makes them kind of glisten.
Yeah, they look like stink lines.
Little stink lines coming off. But Varjo, you haven't talked about your special day.
Oh, Hex, it was magical. I married our production coordinator, Pierreth, in my first virtual wedding.
That's beautiful.
Oh, he came!
I put on my best armor, Hex, anxiously waited at the Shrine of Mara. We said our vows and tied the virtual knot.
With the press of an
we're now
FD,
married.
I accept.
I was a little bit upset you didn't invite me though.
You weren't online at the time, and really it is just a marriage of convenience because we wanted the XP boost you get from being married and questing together. We did invite you to the reception.
Now that was a party.
Oh yeah, that was off the hook.
All right, party. Woo!
We also wanted to spend some time with the PvP, which is all in one massive zone, but every time we went there, we couldn't find anyone. Hello? Hello?
Well, maybe everyone's just too busy crafting. There's so much more we could say about this game, but we have to wrap this up. I love the look of this game. I know it's a superficial thing, but it really plays a big part in whether or not I keep playing because you spend so much time in an MMO, you want it to be beautiful. I just love that realism to the art and the color, and everything just seems like it belongs where it lives.
Yeah, and so often MMOs feel barren and flat or warehousey, but there's just so much detail here and a high level of detail too.
I'm still not thrilled about that $15 a month price tag on top of the price of the original game. I think that's going to be a hard sell for some.
Yeah, I think it's too much. If it was just 5 or 7, but 15 when there's so much free to play out there, I know so many of my friends aren't even starting this game simply because of that, which is such a shame.
Yeah, but there is a huge amount of content in this, which is how I think they're justifying it.
The Maumar are fled or dead thanks to your efforts.
All in all, for a new studio, a new game engine, and a new genre for the series, this is quite an achievement. I'm curious to try it out with a controller when it comes out on console as well. I'm giving it 9 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I still have some issues with lag and of course the price like we talked about, but I'm just hooked on the sheer amount of content in this game.
This is why we came here.
For me, this is all about the stories and that freedom you have to build your character and play the way you want to. So I'm giving this 9 out of 10 rubber chickens. And on a side note, how good is the alt tabbing?
Oh, it alt tabs beautifully.
Yeah.
It's actually a really important feature for MMOs.
Absolutely, solid tabbage.